Welcome back, everybody. This is tutorial 5 of learning to use Geogebra, and our task today is to create the circumcircle of a triangle. And so what we want to do, first off, is go into the geometry perspective, which I've already done, and for options this time on our labeling, we'll label new points only. And so to calculate the circumcircle of a triangle, the first thing we need is a triangle. So go to the polygon tool and just create an arbitrary triangle. So just click the create the 3 points of the triangle in counterclockwise orientation. Go ahead and close back on the original point, and that creates a triangle. So the first thing we need to do is find the circumcenter of the triangle, and the circumcenter is defined as the intersection of the perpendicular bisectors of each of the sides of the triangle. So go to the perpendicular bisector tool, which is a new tool for us. We haven't used that yet. And then just click on each of the sides of the triangle, and that will create perpendicular bisectors to those sides. And when you do that, you find that they will all meet at a point, which is called the circumcenter of the triangle. So go ahead and create the intersection point where the perpendicular bisectors intersect, and now we've created the circumcenter. And real quick, let's click on each of our lines, go to object, or each of the perpendicular bisectors, go to object properties, and for style, let's change the line style of these to give us dashed lines instead of solid lines. We'll end up making our final creation a little bit cleaner. It'll give us a little bit more practice on changing some of the object properties. Okay, so now what we want to do is go ahead and create the circumcircle. So now we'll go to Circle with Center Through Point. Go through, click on the circumcenter, point D, and click on one of the outside points of the circle. And we'll find that that circumcircle actually connects each of the vertices of the triangle. And there you have it. So let's go ahead and create the angles. So click on the angle tool, click in the center of the triangle, and that'll give us the angles, the interior angles of our triangle. So we'll go ahead and do a drag test. Move that around. So one thing we'll notice about the circumcenter is it can be outside the triangle or it can be inside the triangle. So let's play around with that a little bit, and let's find a point here that looks like it's just on the line, one of the outside sides of the triangle. And when you do that, you'll notice that the opposite side's angle is roughly equal to 90 degrees. So that's one of the properties of the circumcenter, is if we have a 90-degree triangle, it'll be located, the circumcenter itself will be located at the midpoint of the hypotenuse of that right triangle. So that's kind of a neat property. And then you look at whenever the circumcenter is inside the triangle, you have an acute triangle. As soon as it goes outside, 90, remember, will be just on the dividing line on the side between inside and outside. Once it goes outside, you notice that the opposite to that side that it went outside, that opposite angle, is going to be obtuse. And those are just some fun properties, and you can play around with those and kind of explore the properties of the circumcenter. So the last thing remaining is why does that happen? And one thing that you'll notice is the sides of these triangles, each side of the triangle actually represents a chord of our circumcircle. And so there's a property of chords is that the perpendicular bisector of a chord will always go through the center of the circle. So if we have perpendicular bisectors to each of these chords through our circle, they're all going to go through the center, and they're all going to meet at the circumcenter. So that's kind of an explanation of why we get this effect. So have fun playing with this, and I'll see you for the next tutorial.